Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Cold Fire.
And I'm Kit.
And today we are continuing the journey on Madonna's path to her fame. And we wanted to take a break and do the Nightline interview that she had done where when Justify My Love came out and it was the first banned music video from MTV. And it shows, I think it says Tom Sawyer. Is that what it said his name was? Forrest Sawyer or whatever.
This is back in 1990 when people watched the news.
Yeah, this is back in 1990. This was supposed to be really a big interview for her. A lot of people are saying that, because Madonna has a very high IQ, that she hid for so long that they didn't realize that they were going to get someone who can out-debate them. Because, a lot of people, whenever they go to debate, they always catch them. The interviewer knows how to get something out of them or get them wild up or, intimidate them, so to speak.
Nightline never actually did that.
Oh, yes, they did.
They did.
We'll watch it and see.
But this is for the younger people. This is before social media, so, Facebook didn't exist, I don't think.
We didn't have cell phones too relevant back then.
So this is how people got information. So, hope you guys enjoy a blast from the past.
And also goes to show that, she took a lot of heat for a lot of minorities out there, and this is the backlash she gets.
It has become virtually a seasonal affair. The weather changes, and there is a new Madonna controversy. This one is a video that MTV, the popular cable music video channel, refused to air. Instantly, a storm of questions arose. Is this a kind of censorship? Has Madonna finally gone too far? We'll look for some answers when I talk with Madonna in just a few minutes, and we will see, in its entirety, the video that has caused all this noise. But first, the controversy itself, with correspondent Ken Kashiwahara.
Nudity, suggestions of bisexuality, sadomasochism, multiple partners. Finally, MTV decided Madonna had gone too far. Her latest video, Justify My Love, was banned.
Now, for the first time, the channel has decided to take a pass on a clip by pop music's hottest star.
For 6 years, this star has turned shock into success, consistently pushing the outer limits of the outrageous, of what is permissible, what is not. Madonna has attracted millions of fans around the world and offended many in the mainstream. Like a Prayer, for example, was criticized by religious groups as blasphemy. And because of this video, Pepsi-Cola canceled a Madonna TV commercial, despite having paid her $5 million.
I wouldn't have turned out the way I was if I didn't have all those old-fashioned values to rebel against, so.
Madonna's career has been fashioned by her vision of sexuality, from her gyrations to her dress. Madonna underwear worn as outerwear became a fashion craze. Even her serious endeavors tend to be sexually suggestive. Madonna urging, get out the vote.
And if you don't vote, you're gonna get a spanking.
While MTV has banned Justify My Love, the pay TV channel, Jukebox, has decided to show it.
We're not a censor, and we don't position ourselves as a censor. I think we're very sensitive, though, to our audience.
So whether she is deliberately provocative and in bad taste, or performing within the limits of artistic expression, Madonna continues to carve a career out of controversy.
Looking at all those flashbacks and everything, just in 6 years, she caused such a commotion. She was causing a commotion.
You look at that stuff now
and now it's G-rated. It gets played on
you
anything.
See this stuff all the time. I don't remember Jukebox, do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that
I figured you would.
they stuck up for her.
But
when she stuck up for Two Live Crew. Remember they were banging
no, I know.
Same time she was?
No, I just wasn't sure. I just never heard them. But no, all this stuff that she's doing,
Gyrating hips.
All this stuff that she did, nowadays it's on regular 6 o'clock TV shows, 8 o'clock TV shows when kids are up, because there's nothing bad about it. It's just it's the way society thought back then.
It's because she was a woman.
So, let's see what she has to say about
But no, one of the things that me and you always kind of joke about, sometimes whenever we're doing it, they said that she said a trend to make nightwear into outerwear. Mm-hmm. And it was because mostly, she wore the spandex pants, mm-hmm. but she always wore a skirt over them. Mm-hmm. She didn't wear them like pants. She wore them with something over them, whether it was a denim mini skirt or a long sleeve shirt or something like that. And we always joke about now that women today, you can go outside and just see them wearing them with just a t-shirt. And
yep.
You wouldn't have done that back then.
I also see people that come into my job that are wearing house shoes, also known as slippers.
Yeah.
Pajama bottoms, curlers in their hair. Back then, you didn't see that. If you were going to the store for even a quick pick up something, you were getting dressed and brushing your teeth and combing your hair and making yourself look pretty or handsome or whatever before you even stepped out the door. Now, people roll out of bed and go to work.
Well, I don't know if you grew up with the same philosophy, but my parents told me always change your underwear.
Well, yeah,
just in case you get in an accident. Mm-hmm. So
I just don't wear any. Alrighty, let's move on.
Let's move on. Now we're going to start the interview, I guess.
This is Ken Kashiwahara for Nightline.
And now the video. Obviously, we are broadcasting it late at night, and we expect that only adults are watching. You should know this video includes graphic portrayals of sexuality and nudity. And when we come back, Madonna.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you.
Kind of skip.
So apparently they're not showing the video because it probably would have got this. Probably would not be allowed. I don't know.
If you want to see the video, we did react to it when we first started the YouTube channel. We reacted to a lot of her more popular songs, and yeah, I was just trying to get it off the thing in case. But yeah, but it's what's it saying?
If you want to react, if you want to see the reaction.
Yeah, if you want to see the reaction to it, go to our playlist, the Madonna playlist, and you'll see the Justify My Love video in its entirety. I remember when this came out because I did watch it, but I can't remember that far back. I mean, this was like 40 years ago.
You can't remember yesterday, so. Yeah.
But yeah, she yeah, it was big. It was really big. It was all over the news. I don't know. It was one of those they would not stop covering.
Honestly, don't remember any of it because during the 90s I was busy doing other things.
Well, I was too.
So
I multitask.
I'm not saying a word.
She is certainly controversial, but she is also certainly popular. Madonna's first 4 albums sold 48 million copies, and Forbes magazine calls her the top-earning female entertainer this year. Madonna joins us from Los Angeles. Am I correct in assuming that if an artist wants an album or a record to be very popular, you need to have airplay, or usually you need to have airplay on MTV?
Well, it's a very important marketing tool for an artist, yes.
So should I assume then that you went through the ordinary process, as to say that you, with MTV in mind, put together your video and simply submitted it to their standards committee thinking it would get the clearance that it always has?
Yes, I did.
Well, you know that or at least your record company knows that nudity is banned by MTV. They're not going to allow any...
Well, I'm not so sure about that because when I did my Vogue video, there's a shot of me where I'm wearing a see-through dress and you can clearly see my breasts. Now, they told me that they wanted me to take that out, but I said I wouldn't, and they played it anyways. So I thought that once again I was going to be able to bend the rules a little bit.
Well, you certainly were bending...
So yes, that's the point that was shows how remarkably she picks up on things and can throw stuff back at them. Mm-hmm. when he said that nudity was not allowed on MTV. Now, you remember how popular Vogue video was. Mm-hmm. And if anybody out there watches the Vogue video, you see her in the lace, Chantilly lace or whatever it's called. I mean, it doesn't just show a brief clip of her breast. It shows it for probably half a minute or so. And you can clearly see her breast in the Vogue video. But the song came out before the music video did. And because it was so hot, reaching #1, that they had no choice but to play the Vogue video. This one is kind of like the opposite way around. It didn't get a chance to go on, get airplay on MTV to see what it could do. So,
the rules a lot more than you had in the past, or did you feel that you were well within the bounds that you had been?
I guess half of me thought that I was going to get away with it and that I was going to be able to convince them, and the other half thought, well, no, with the wave of censorship being, and the conservatism that is, sort of sweeping over the nation, I thought that there was going to be a problem.
Well, when you say you thought you could get away with it, am I right? Have you sort of pushed the envelope a little bit with each one? With every video you've tried some new things, if only to be experimenting for your own reasons?
Well, I think that's what art is all about, experimenting. But it is an expression. It is my artistic expression, and for me, a video is the filmic expression of the song, a visual that describes what the song is about. And you've got to listen to the words of the song. It's about a woman who's talking to her lover, and she's saying, tell me your dreams. Am I in them? Tell me your fears. Are you scared? Tell me your stories. I'm not afraid of who you are. And so, we're dealing with sexual fantasies and being truthful and honest with our partner, and these feelings exist, and I'm just dealing with the truth here in my video.
Well, let me tell you why I asked that, because there are a lot of people in the industry who have said, look, this is one of the best self-marketers in the business. We have never really seen anything like it. And she knows how to push right to that edge. And this was a win-win for you. If they put the video on, you would get that kind of play, and if they didn't, you'd still make some money. It was all, in a sense, a kind of publicity stunt.
Well, it may seem like it was a publicity stunt, and actually I was very lucky, but I must say I did not plan on selling this video. I just went in there to shoot it, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to think about whether it's going to get played or not. I'm just going to do it. This is how I truly feel about this song. This is how I want to express myself. And when we gave it to MTV, we asked them if they would play it. They came back a while later and they said no. I said, is there one scene or another that you specifically object to? And they said no, it's the whole tone. So we didn't really even have a chance to try to make it viewable. They rejected it completely. And so then I had to think, with my manager, what next? What should we do? And we decided, hell, let's sell it. Let's sell it like a video single. It's never been done before. And, the controversy just happened. It wasn't planned, but,
But in the end, you're going to wind up making even more money than you would have.
You're going to take care. Anyways, they're bringing up a really good subject, because I remember going out and buying the when we had VHSs back then. She was the very first artist to put her video and sell it on VHS. And it made her more money than it would have been if it had aired on MTV. And I understand what she's talking about.
Wasn't she the first artist to also do a concert on a video?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, she's done a few of them, I believe.
No, I know that, but I'm saying the first one in general.
Yes.
To record their concert and put it on a VHS tape.
Yes. Yes, she was.
Okay.
She is the reason why now you have those little things on there that says explicit language and lyrics or whatever, or must be parental vision and all that on there, was because we didn't have that back then. Like when we rented movies, definitely it would say R for R-rated or PG-13. But there was a lot of stuff that was PG-13, if you were 13 at the time, like Sweet Dreams. the Patsy Cline movie, it was PG-13. But look what all was in that movie. How much cussing was in that movie?
That's a typical day in my house.
Yeah, but I mean, for a 13-year-old to hear that kind of language and see him beating on her, stuff like that.
Oh, you mean the 10% that it lives in a perfect family?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, but my mother let me watch it because, you know, my mother wasn't a hypocrite when it came to stuff like this. She knew what Madonna was going for. Mm-hmm. She helped a lot of people save their lives from suicide. But let's get...
Yeah, so lucky me.
But the question that I think a lot of people are concerned about is you say you go into the studio and you want to illustrate the song and you're doing it in the way that you want. But they see a kind of trend where you are pushing the limits of sexuality. In this case, you have nudity and you have bisexuality and you have apparently group sex. And they're thinking that maybe you're... Pardon me?
What are you saying? You're saying I'm pushing the limits of sexuality?
No, you're pushing the limits of what's permissible. That you're carrying it a little further each time. And I guess what people are asking then is, where is that line? Where do you finally say, okay, this is far enough?
That's a good question, but then I would like to address the whole issue of censorship on television. Where do we draw the line in general? I mean, if
you can't go that far yet. First you have to tell me where you draw the line.
Well, okay, I draw the line in terms of what I think is viewable on television. I draw the line with violence and humiliation and degradation, okay? And I don't think any of these issues are evident in my video. That's where I draw the line. That's what I don't want to see.
But I guess that then one woman's art is another woman's pornography. I'm thinking of the Express Yourself video. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are images of you chained. There are images of you crawling under a table, and there are a lot of people who are upset by that.
Okay, I'm chained myself, though, okay? No, there wasn't a man that put that chain on me. I did it myself. I was chained to my desires. I crawled under my own table. You know, there wasn't a man standing there making me do it. I do everything by my own volition. I'm in charge, okay? Degradation is when somebody else is making you do something against your wishes,
so
okay?
I think that's perfectly said.
Huh? Yeah,
that's perfectly said. Huh?
What's perfectly said?
What she just said in regards to degradation, just because you're chained or just because you're doing something.
Yeah.
If you choose to do it, that's not degrading yourself.
Yeah, because it's symbolism in her video.
If somebody is forcing you to do it, then yes, that's degrading yourself.
But it goes to show you how a lot of people can be very narrow-minded. Mm-hmm. If you watch the Express Yourself video, you never see her getting chained to the bed by someone. She's in a room chained, waiting for the man to come to her.
She chose to.
And it actually shows in the video also where she pours the glass of milk over her shoulder onto his face. That's basically like, I have the power. I may be the woman drinking the milk out of the bowl, but I'm still in charge and I have the power over you. So yeah, I like the fact that, you know, he asked where she drew the line at, and she said with violence and degradation and humiliation. And, of course, we grew up on that kind of stuff.
I understand. Is the expression then of sexuality, so long as it's two consenting adults, any form of sexuality, all right on television?
Well, then I would like, okay, first I'd like to say I don't believe in censorship of any kind, but then I would like to say that I believe in labeling, and I would believe in some kind of, you know, warning label, or some kind of label that would say to adults, you know, after a certain hour we're allowed to, you know, play these kind of adult-themed videos, you know. But then, okay, so I've dealt with sexuality, but I also think that we should also have categories for other issues that I think are not necessarily good for 10-year-olds to watch, okay? I mean, I think MTV should have their, you know, their violence hour, and I think they should have their degradation to women hour, and then we could have an hour where we deal with adult sexual themes. But, you know, if we're going to have censorship, let's not be hypocrites about this. Let's not have double standards, you know?
Damn.
I mean, why is it okay for 10-year-olds to see, you know, someone's body being ripped to shreds or or Sam Kinison spitting on Jessica Hahn. Why are we going to deal with these issues? Why is that okay? Why do parents not have a problem with that? But why do they have a problem with two adults, you know, two consenting adults displaying affection for each other, regardless of their sex?
That was very well said. Because, as you know, you can turn on any news station and you see mass gun shootings. And these kids are growing up watching that. And they have been since the beginning of the TV and whatever. And all the movies that we were watching when we were growing up, there was no parental. Our parents were sitting there watching them with us. Like Rambo and stuff like that. Where people get blown up, Die Hard, and we were going through all this stuff, and I can see her point now. She don't believe in it, but she also don't believe in censorship. So she's actually, I think, she was trying to set a crusade to show, hey, save the violence for running it all day and only run it for this time at night whenever your kids are in bed. Or if you choose to sit up and watch it with them, you
That's
can.
Still not going to stop them. But
Exactly, because they're going to find it no matter what.
Donnie, you've raised about 30 important questions, and I think we ought to get at those when we come back.
Well, I only have a few minutes. So.
We're going to come right back after we pay some bills here, and we'll explore those questions in just a moment. Madonna, I wonder if you were being facetious a moment ago. You said despite your concerns about violence and degradation to women, maybe MTV should consider having an hour for violence and an hour that displays degradation to women, despite the fact that it's broadcast right into people's homes where their children could see it.
Well, I'm saying we already have these videos that display degradation to women and violence that are played 24 hours a day. Yeah. But yet they don't want to have a video playing that deals with sex between two consenting adults. So I'm saying, you know, where do we draw the line? Why is this good for a 10-year-old to watch, and why is it? And I guess I was being sarcastic, you know, to say, look, give me a chance, you know, let me have my slot, give me a warning label, warn parents so it doesn't take them by surprise, so that they have a chance to take their child away from television, but also warn them about violence and warn them about, you know, scenes and videos that depict degradation to women.
But you know how very hard it is for a parent to control the child having access to TV, and they sit there and they watch MTV all day long. Now,
yes.
Would you, if you were in that parent's position, and it was your 10-year-old, your 11-year-old, would you not be worried about their seeing this kind of stuff?
Well,
now to answer that question, she can literally say, I have had children, and they didn't watch television until however old they were.
Yeah, they don't watch TV in her house.
Well, they do now when they're adults, but...
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't be worried about it, and this is why. Because I think that sexuality is something that Americans would really rather just sweep up under the rug.
Yeah.
And I think that if my video provokes an open discussion, you know, maybe the kids will go and ask their parents these questions, you know. If it provokes an open discussion about sex with their parents, I think this is a really good thing. Okay,
but Madonna, you have to help me here. When a 10-year-old sees you chained to the bed, or sees your boyfriend bound up and another woman comes by while you're there, maybe you know that that's a fantasy, and you know that other people are able to deal with all kinds of sexuality, but a 10-year-old is going to get awfully confused here.
Good, then let them get confused and let them go ask their parents about it, and let their parents, you know, explain to them that it is a sexual fantasy and that these things exist in life, like they see violence, okay? It exists in life. It's not a pretty picture necessarily. You know, it's a frightening thing, but it's a reality. Why are we willing to deal with the realities of violence and sexism, and why aren't we willing to deal with sexuality? Why? I mean, the networks won't even play ads on TV that are about condoms, about birth control, about practicing safe sex. We're pretending like we don't have a lot of teenagers that are having sex in the world right now. Why are we, you know, why are we subjecting ourselves to this kind of ignorance?
Look, I'll tell.
She made a damn good point there, because I remember when condom ads were banned from TV during the AIDS crisis, when we needed it the most.
Well, they said that would encourage
kids. Yeah, because I remember being in high school and they wouldn't allow you to have condoms handouts because they're saying, here, go have sex.
Yep. I know.
And it's a point that's saying, no, here's your parachute in case you decide to jump out of the plane. You'll have it there for protection. Oh, Lord, these people.
Tell you what their answer is going to be to you. They're going to say, you know what, we really are concerned about these issues, and we really are concerned that our children understand them, but quite frankly, it is our job to instruct our children, and we don't want you on television in the kinds of ways that you're on television, giving those images to our children. Thanks anyway.
Well, guess what? They're not doing their job because the teenage pregnancies in this country have reached, a highest high. I mean, we have sophomores in high school who are having their second babies already, okay? And the rate of AIDS is raising in the heterosexual community at a really frightening rate, okay? So why is that? These parents are not doing their jobs,
Ooh,
you know?
Damn.
There is the question, and I guess this is what you're trying to tell me about, that you're balancing between an artist's need for self-expression. An artist's need to explore any kind of issue, and that certainly includes sexuality, and the responsibility that comes along with the kind of prominence that you have, and the fact that you're a role model for people. And I guess you have to wrestle with that, don't you?
The fact that I'm a role model, I have to wrestle with that.
Well, that there is a responsibility that comes along with your position.
Okay, you know what? I feel that I'm behaving in a very responsible way. If you say I have a responsibility as a mainstream artist, whatever, I feel that I am being responsible because I am here, as I said at the beginning of the interview, I'm talking about the video is displaying people being honest to each other about their sexuality. They're not alienating anyone, they're not degrading anyone. It's about honesty, it's about the celebration of sex. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? And that is my responsibility. And I'm also very responsible because I do deal with sexuality a lot in my shows and in my music. You know, I promote safe sex whenever I can. I put literature in my albums about birth control and using condoms. I am responsible.
But my point really goes back to that other question, and I'm not suggesting that you're not. I'm just saying that you have to ask yourself, or do you not, the question, when you go into the studio, or when you put on your show, you want to be able to explore these kinds of things because that's what art is. But at the same time, you have to reflect on what's going to be responsible. So then, do you say, where do I draw the line, or does it keep going further and further?
But as I said to you before, I am being responsible. You know, where I draw the line is what I said. I don't believe in gratuitous violence, and I don't believe in degradation. You know, the degradation of any human being, okay? And I would never promote those things in any of my art. And I don't.
You've taken some heat, I know, and you would like to have a chance to talk about it from some women who feel that maybe you're not expressing the values that they want feminism to express. For all the way from way back when you wore the belt buckle that said boy toy, to the Material Girl video, which they feel reflects old values of women, even if it was satirical, to express yourself. Do you have an answer to them?
To the feminists
who raise that kind of question?
Well, I would like to point out that they're missing a couple of things because, you know, I may be dressing like the typical bimbo, whatever, but I'm in charge. You know, I'm in charge of my fantasies. I put myself in these situations with men, you know, and everybody knows, you know, in terms of my image in the public, people don't think of me as a person who's not in charge of my career or my life, okay? And isn't that what feminism is all about? Yep. You know, equality for men and women. And aren't I in charge of my life, doing the things I want to do, making my own decisions?
I don't think anybody would question whether you're in charge of your own life. I do have a last question for you. What is the next sort of thing that we could be looking forward to? Do you have it in mind already?
What is, you mean, you want me to promote one of my products?
No. I'm asking.
My up-and-coming, button-pushing products?
No, that's not the point. The point is, will you continue to explore sexuality in the fashion that you have? Will you try to carry it a little further in a way that...
Well, I don't know. I can't predict what I'm going to feel artistically. I don't think anyone can, but it is a very important issue to me, and I'm sure I will be dealing with it more in the future.
I have no doubt about it. You were kind to talk to us tonight, Madonna. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for listening to me.
When we come back,
Well, I guess the Queen told him. I agree with her, you know. Parents do not, and I'm saying they don't talk to their kids about sex because they don't want to. I think that they don't know how to articulate it to them. or they don't know when to tell them. But I believe that a parent should watch their child, and if they're starting to see things that they're acting peculiar about, like playing with the Barbie doll and taking its clothes off, that's a perfect example of them wanting to explore what's up underneath the clothing of the Barbie doll.
Well, here's the thing. Being a parent doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't tell you what to do.
No, it doesn't.
So, I get it, but...
Being a parent is hard.
But I also get... I get parents have issues and stuff like that, and sometimes they don't talk to them because they don't know how. But what this would do is this would give them an opportunity to be forced upon the issue, and they have to figure out how to talk to them. But, but parents in general are afraid to talk to their kid about things that a lot of people perceive as bad, like, the circle of life, death, They don't want to deal with it. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people, even today, come to my job yelling because they bought a fish for their kid and the fish died, and they're yelling at me because it died, and they had to explain why it died, and the kid is 5 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, circle of life? I'm sure the kid watched The Lion King. I mean, come on now. It's just the parents, a lot of them don't want to... A lot of parents don't want to parent.
Well, it's because they feel... They don't know when to say it, and it makes them uncomfortable as well, because they were also brought... You got to look at the... You talk about the circle of life, you got to look at the generational gap,
and I
too.
also guess it's difficult. I mean, like what she said, you got sophomores having their second baby. So you got babies having babies.
And heterosexuals now getting AIDS whenever AIDS was a curse to gays. And, Madonna has always... I remember buying the Like a Prayer album. When I first opened it up, it smelled like patchouli.
Yeah.
And then it had a whole thing about AIDS, what it was and how you can contact it and everything else. And I was like, wow. And, they didn't teach that to us in high school about AIDS.
No.
Or condoms or anything like that. But I had a lot of them around me getting pregnant. In high school, and it is what it is. But I think she held the debate very well.
So do I.
She was very well dressed. She had her hair up. She was ready to go.
Well, tell us what you thought about the interview, and see what let us know. Especially the older generation versus the younger generation today. Let us know what you think.
And this is 1990, and they thought she was controversial.
So
they need to start waiting. She's just getting ramped up.
This was over 30 years ago, so tell us what you think.
Yep.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed watching it. So
you guys have a wonderful day, and remember, love makes the world go round. Bye-bye.